Hi, everyone. This is Caroline with the Expat Interviews, Thriving Abroad, where we take you all over the globe to introduce you to people who are doing amazing, wonderful, and awesome things all across this beautiful globe. There's so much to see, so much to do, and the space is really unlimited. Today, I am really excited because this is something that a lot of people don't consider when thinking about maybe going into the expat realm. You know, we always think that people want to be expats forever and ever. You go away and you leave your home and you never come back, or you have to go to, to one country and stay forever. But this concept that we're going to talk about today is something that you really need to consider. And I'm really excited to bring you Leticia Ricks. Thank you so much for coming, Leticia. And just to give you a little backstory, Leticia is doing something really cool out here in the global space. And everyone should, jot it down and consider it. It's something that I have always been preaching as an expat for all the years that I've been out, getting involved in the community, volunteering, becoming a part of that community, even if for a small moment in time, that it just brings back so much to you if you decide to go home or wherever you are. But without further ado, Leticia, thank you so much. Tell us about I just got so excited. I'm just going off into my own little. Tell me about your company and what you do.
Yes. Well, first of all, Carolyn, thank you so much for having me. It's a blessing to be here. My name is Leticia Ricks. I am the founder and CEO, co-founder and CEO. I manage this company with my husband, of Luxottic Retreats. And our goal is to create transformative experiences that enrich your mind and elevate your life. So we essentially focus on creating global retreats all over the world in the most beautiful, luxurious, exotic places in the world that allow you to learn various entrepreneurial techniques from world leaders. You're also able to receive the culture of that community wherever we are by way of once-in-a-lifetime excursions or once-in-a-lifetime experiences. And also we're able to pour back into the community. So I'm super thrilled in terms of, how we've been able to get started. We built this company in COVID, and we still, that's something to be said in of itself. We were able to earn trust of our customers, even in the wake of a global pandemic, and have delivered an incredible retreat. So I'm excited about the future and talking about what that looks like and how we can get expats involved.
Yeah, I think this COVID has been a plus for so many more people than it's been a negative. It's birthed to so many really cool ideas. So basically, what you do is you go to different countries all over the world and you have these retreats. So let's say, for example, I want to go to Bali and I'd like to visit, I'd like to spend some time there. Maybe as an add-on, I could attend your retreat.
100%. Yes. And we are going to Bali next year. So what's great about it is that we not only connect with the resort that we create a partnership with, but we also connect with the local community. So our goal is essentially to connect with those communities, be able to understand where their pain points are, but also understand how we can experience that culture in a unique way that is great for a future resident or just a visitor that wants to experience the culture deeper. So that's essentially our goal. We want to really feel the culture of where we go. We want to pour into the culture while we're also learning. I have a very strong theory that, 90% of the globe learns best when you're in a relaxed environment, you're, near water or you're near natural habitat. So the goal is to have that as a combination of the two. And as an expat, that would be incredibly helpful as you're kind of choosing choosing your new career path or deciding an additional career path, you're learning about what opportunities are available. So for example, our last retreat, we had a few seminar leaders talk about how to maximize and how to profit on social media, and also how to take that, how to take those newfound profits and invest them and maximize your investments. So our retreats are great for anyone, but I think they'll be especially helpful for expats as they're looking to become a global citizen.
Yeah, so you're kind of killing two birds with one stone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Learning entrepreneurial, because that is the number one thing that most people think about when they want to go out, like work. How am I going to, find employment? How am I going to make an income? And of course, we are in the digital age where, as you mentioned, I mean, a 6-figure income on social media. Wow, it doesn't get any better than that, right?
Right.
So here I am in a beautiful place and I want to live here for a while. I'm immersed in the culture. I'm learning how to create a business. And that's paradise. I mean, what else could you ask for? How long are your retreats typically?
Yeah, so we try to have it no fewer than 7 days, since most of our retreats are about, I think the minimum is like 7 hours away from the United States. We want for folks to be able to maximize their time. So our most recent retreat to Zanzibar is about a 20-hour flight end to end, or flight experience end to end. So we want to make sure that we create an itinerary that allows for our guests to experience that in full. So at a minimum 7 days, so that people can really absorb everything that the culture has to offer, all of the learnings that our speakers have to offer, and then all of the different types of community outreach projects that we have to offer as well.
Is there anything, I guess, besides the cultural aspect that sets you apart? I mean, what do you do culturally that, say, I couldn't do on some of the typical yoga retreats or health retreats? What sets you apart?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think what essentially sets us apart is the relationships that we build, and the research that we do to understand not only the needs of the location that we're going to. So we do an extensive amount of research to understand where the needs lie. So for example, our Zanzibar retreat, well, I'll talk about Bali. Bali was very much impacted by COVID. So our goal when we go to Bali is to help them with much more PPE. They're still trying to recover from that. Even a year later, their borders still haven't, opened to external, to completely global. So that's our goal there, is kind of doing a lot of that research. Similarly to Zanzibar, we noticed that there is a huge impact in children education, children healthcare, and how can we understand, how we can fill that gap, and then it's understanding the how our guests want to be involved. So we had kind of a split group where some of our guests wanted to do stuff with, that had more to do with educational. There was more educational, and others wanted to, kind of help more the humanitarian kind of social needs. So we were able to find two different, cultural experiences that allowed us to help build a school for some of our guests, and then also help to go and provide food and clothing and medical PPE and things of that nature to an orphanage. So it's really understanding what our guests want while we're also understanding our need. I think that really sets us apart. As I think about us culturally, and then it's really what we're able to do in terms of receiving the culture. So a lot of folks, kind of just pour out. We want to be able to make sure that we are we're adhering to what the we're receiving what the culture has to bring for our soul and for our well-being. So we always look for, how we can receive and how we can learn from that culture.
That is so important. So important. I know from, I have been involved in tourism for many, many years, and I lived in Central America before coming here to Mexico. And many people would come here and they go to the all-inclusive resorts, and they pretty much are sequestered there for 5, 6 days. They don't really go out much, I mean, many places, and it may seem crazy, but many people just sit there, they drink, they eat, they just get all the entertainment. And when they go back home, hey, how was, Mexico? How was Nicaragua? Wow. I mean, it was great. We were at the pool all day, and you really didn't get a chance to tap into some of the beauty, some of the real, deep
Right.
down cultural things that, I mean, it's so important that you
It's so
really get to
important.
connect. I like that. And so for what are the age groups are you finding typically on these type of retreats?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, as of right now, it has been millennials. We've just, and that's just kind of the people that book, and it may be because we as the founders are millennials. But I also, my husband and I, we have a 14-year-old daughter. It was very, very important for our daughter to attend this retreat. So even though we're all adults here, we made a retreat experience that was good enough and well-rounded enough for a 14-year-old to enjoy. Similarly, I wanted to also make sure that whatever we did, even if my grandmother didn't attend this retreat, that she would still have a good enough experience. And when I showed my grandma the itinerary, she's like, count me in for the next one.
Oh,
So we want to make sure that we can cater to any guest. Today, that just so happens to be millennials, but we want to make sure that we're building a company that can scale. It's not just defined for any one particular group, but that's what we're seeing today.
I love it. Absolutely love it. What bit of advice would you give someone who is contemplating
Mm,
stepping out into the world and seeing the world? Someone who's really never left their backyard. What
yeah.
what would you say to them to get out of their comfort zone?
Yeah, that's such a great important question. I'd probably say three things. The first would just be just do it. Just do it. Just book the trip, book the flight. Don't worry about anything. With that, it would be my second piece of advice is do a ton of research. I think the biggest reason why folks that do just kind of pull the trigger and do and just go and they don't have as good of a time is that they don't do that research, and they don't understand what all goes into going into a new culture, what the norms are, how you should kind of leave your regular norms at home and take these norms that the culture is used to, and then be able to just pour back into that community. So doing a ton of research, and then my third piece is to share those learnings back with at least one person, because the more that we're able to share and grow and explore, the more that we can help others that are not as well versed at traveling and seeing the world. And that's just going to expand our enlightenment. It's going to increase how we all deal with each other and interact with each other, because when we're interacting and engaging with people that may not look like us, may not speak our same language, it kind of minimizes that friction that we may experience within our own culture. And now we've kind of opened up our minds a little bit. So sharing that back with someone so that they can experience it too, I strongly believe will help our humanity in some aspects.
When is the next retreat coming up?
Yes, great question. So we have two coming up. We have our endless summer retreat in Cabo, Mexico. We'll be pouring back into the Mexican community there. Also receiving different types of learnings from the more along with the line of the beauty and fitness industry. We chose those industries because your body's a temple, and we want for people to be able to receive this, whether they're beauty and fitness experts or not. We want for people to feel good about themselves and learn some type of ways to elevate their outer experience while also elevating their inward appearance with their spirit and their soul by giving back to community. So that's the first one. And then the second one, and this is just by the end of the year, we'll be releasing our 2022-2023 calendar within the next couple of weeks. But we also have our generational wealth retreat in Dubai, which I'm super excited about because we're going to have different speakers that are going to talk about, how to build generational wealth specifically for people of color. People of color have been kind of left out and out of that conversation for generations. And now that this is the information age where we can tap into these resources, what better way to learn than while you're on vacation. And we'll also learn more about the Dubai Middle Eastern culture as well. And there's a few foundations that are in that area, but what we'll more than likely be doing is giving scholarships for high schoolers to learn, kind of generational wealth and be able to receive from our industry experts there. So the cultural or give back will be more on the American side, and being able to allow for those folks that don't have the opportunity to travel abroad to be able to give that in the form of a scholarship.
How can we get a hold of you? How can we connect with you?
Yes. www.luxoticretreats.com is the best way to check out all of our upcoming retreats, all of our past retreats. And then you can always send us an email at info at luxoticretreats.com. That's luxoticretreats.com. Info at luxoticretreats.com. And I'm Leticia Ricks.
And we're going to put the link down below of the video. Leticia, thank you so much for this information. I love your passion. I love your spirit. And I hope that you are able to make that special connection with more and more people as we get out there and see the world, not only experience it, but immerse ourselves in the cultures that we are fortunate to be a part of, to touch, to feel, to taste. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Carolyn, again for having me. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.